I'm Abby.
And I'm Uchenna.
And this is Shine Your Eye, a podcast about the good and the wahala, here at home, back home, and around the world.
So join us as we inform, inspire, and enlighten all that shines bright in our community.
Hey, lady.
Hey, long time no see.
Yeah. What you been up to?
Girl, I started working out.
Okay.
So what I did is I joined Planet Fitness for,
Interesting.
Yes. And I went to ChatGPT and I told it to make a 6-week workout plan for me where I decrease belly fat, increase flexibility, and increase the gluteus maximus. And I went to a party on Sunday. And someone was like, "Oh, your butt is looking quite rotund."
Wow.
So it's working, and I saved money on a trainer.
Yes.
And I said I wanted to do HIIT, like high impact training, right? Whatever. Tabata, Tabata?
Yes.
Did Tabata and weightlifting.
Okay.
And then, like I said, flexibility. So it tells me to do yoga and the Tabata stuff. And so I've been working out.
Nice.
So getting my body ready for the summer.
Summer body.
Yes. What about you? What's up?
I ain't been working out. So I joined EOS.
You did?
EOS?
Yes. Is it EOS? EOS? What is it?
Know.
What does EOS
I
stand
think
for?
it has to
stand something.
It probably does. I don't think it's important.
I don't know.
I think it has to be EOS because they put the line on top of the O.
Oh.
So I think it's EOS.
Because they don't have dots.
Right,
between,
exactly.
So it's EOS. So maybe some other language.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll go with that.
But I joined them and it's a cost savings over Lifetime Fitness.
Oh, yes, yes. We were both members of Lifetime for some years.
And loved it.
But
not the money.
No, not in this economy.
Right.
With this administration.
Yes. We got to keep our coins. But I've been going to hip hop dance class once a week. I'm up to once a week working out.
Ooh, that's better than zero
It's
times
better than
a week.
zero.
We'll pat ourselves on the back.
Yes.
Praise report time.
Awesome.
So this week on our praise report, we're celebrating the viral dating show Pop the Balloon or Find Love, which has made its Netflix debut in April, and it's live. Did you ever watch it on YouTube?
So, to me, Pop the Balloon is a type of show. I know it is an actual show, but the one my husband watches is Nans Mirages with the Nigerians.
Yes.
So I watch that frequently because he watches that frequently. I've seen clips from the American version.
Yeah. So I started watching it over the summer. And then when I was work from home at another job, I would like to listen to it as I work.
Okay, nice.
It's something you don't have to just focus on.
Yeah.
It's lighthearted and laugh, but
I guess in the background you'll hear something. You're like, whoa.
Well, exactly. And why are they popping the balloon over this guy or girl? But so it was originally created by a Congolese couple. Did you know they were Congolese? Bolia, B.M. Matundu, and I believe he was a recording artist. Don't quote me on that. And his wife, Arlette Amuli. The show started on YouTube and racked up over 100 million views with this bold, interactive format. And so the concept is one eligible person stands in front of a lineup of suitors holding a balloon, which is red. As the contestants share their preferences and deal breakers, and suitors or the main contestant, they will pop the balloon to show disinterest. If your balloon survives the round, you may walk away with a date. And if not, the balloon pops, and so does your shot at love. So the Nigerian connection is that on the Netflix version, it's hosted by Yvonne Orji. Yeah, comedian and actress. And she brought her brilliance, her beauty, and comedic fire to the global stage, as she usually does. And we couldn't be more prouder of Yvonne. So we see you and we celebrate you, and we just, you did a phenomenal job, and want to give you your props on that.
I'm always on the lookout for what Yvonne is up to.
Yeah, me too.
And this is perfect. Especially because of her, on Insecure. She was so insecure.
Yeah. What was her character's name?
Molly.
The lawyer.
Molly was so insecure.
Yes.
But it's just the right space for her. So I'm glad that she's lending her fame to this franchise on Netflix.
So, question:
Mm-hmm.
before you got married, so this is before, would you have gone on a show like
Hell
Pop the
no.
Balloon? Me either. I don't like public embarrassment.
Mm-mm.
Embarrassment, I cannot do.
No.
No.
But as I watch, again, I don't watch the one with Arlette.
Yes, the original one.
Right. I don't
Arlette.
watch it
Mhm.
as frequently, but I watch the other one. And I have to believe
Mhm.
that the people that go on there are not actually looking for love.
They're looking for exposure.
Yes, for
I
fame.
agree. Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
do they shout out their handles on the?
Sometimes they will
Okay.
say, oh, they'll say something like, oh, I'm a content creator.
Right.
and
That's
so,
90% of them.
Yes, exactly.
Which, no shade on content creation with my recent forays, but yes.
Yes. So, and then there's a lot of versions. So you talked about the Nigerian version, the Caribbean version. I've seen a couple of times, and yeah,
that's gotta be interesting.
it's very, very
the,
interesting.
The other thing that makes me think that these people are not looking for actual relationships is the stuff that they pop the balloon for.
Yes, because of their shoes.
Yes,
or
what I was thinking
the
of.
shirt, things, right?
Or before they even talk.
Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, that's true.
Do they let on Arlette's version? Do they let the person get their balloon back?
What do you mean?
Like
if they made a mistake?
Yes.
Yeah, they're able to.
Because the person opened their mouth and you're like, oh, I like what he's saying.
I want my balloon back. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll do
Okay,
that.
good.
Yeah. So yay to Yvonne.
All right. So for today's Wednesday Wahala,
yes,
we are talking about sleep. Why rest matters more than you think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about something very grown up, and something every grown up needs but barely gets enough of. At least I don't get enough sleep. Let me ask you, how much sleep do you get per night?
That's an odd question for me because per night I may not sleep more than maybe 6 hours, 6 or 7 hours. But if you will allow me to sleep during the day, I can sleep like 8-10 hours, like total throughout the day.
Okay, good.
I feel like if there were like an Olympic sport for sleeping, I definitely represent my country and I would get platinum. I love sleep.
And if you are listening to this or watching this right now and you're trying to stay awake, this episode is for you. We're going to dive into why sleep is so important, how sleep deprivation hits, especially hard for parents, new parents. And that's why I brought this episode up, because I'm sleep deprived constantly. We're going to talk about melatonin and magnesium and how sleep trackers might be helping or stressing you out.
So some tips to help and things to maybe to avoid.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely. So why sleep is more than just rest? Let's start with the basics. Sleep isn't just when your body shuts down. It's actually when your brain and body do some of their most important work. While you're snoozing, your brain is clearing out toxins, your body is repairing cells, balancing hormones, and boosting immunity.
So it helps with emotional regulation, which is why some of us are sleep deprived, and things can be a little bit more dramatic than they need to be because you've not slept well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's why like early parenthood is so difficult, because you're doing new things and also not getting enough sleep.
Yes.
So everybody, you're just like tense
on edge
with everybody. So let's talk about sleep deprivation and early parenting. I don't think anyone prepares you for the exhaustion that comes from early parenting. It's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, not just for the person who birthed the baby, but also everybody else. I know my mom was probably sleep deprived those few months. There were days I didn't know what day it was. Your whole identity becomes this new person who survives on crumbs of sleep, like an hour here, 2 hours there. So yeah, the newborn phase is brutal. I'm almost 2 years in now, and
it still hasn't gotten better.
It got better for a minute. I started getting like 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. And then now her new thing is crawling out of her crib. And now we've given her like a Montessori floor bed.
Okay.
So that
safer.
It's yeah. So she's not. When she got out of her crib, I was like, "How did she do this?" And she wasn't injured, so I thank God.
Yes.
But yeah, now we have a floor bed. She can get up whenever she wants. I keep the door cracked.
Okay.
And so I'm sleeping in my room, and then I'll be like, "Wait, hello, little one, where did you come from?" So that's our current struggle right now. But one thing that can help is having a routine. Kids thrive on routines. And the more we get farther from her routine, the less she sleeps. Like if right now, it's my fault, but right now she goes to sleep at 12 midnight.
Oh, wow. And wakes up at what time?
12, because she likes her sleep.
She likes her sleep.
She sleeps for 12 hours. So
nice.
That's nice, but then I need to sleep earlier. And like, I think babies and toddlers are the same as adults. Like if you train your body to sleep earlier, then you'll sleep earlier. If you keep sleeping later, you'll sleep later. So we have some work to do.
And sleep training, I know that can kind of be difficult at first, right?
Oh, yeah. Because you don't, I think it's something physical in your body.
Okay.
That like, I think I feel my body shudder when I hear her cry. So sleep training is basically crying, you know?
Right.
And so like the first time I did it with her, it was like hearing, you know, not chalk, nails on a chalkboard.
Right.
But you have to do it, I think. A lot of parents don't want to do it, but you have to do it if you want to get your sleep. And that's how I reclaimed my sleep time. But anyway. So next I want to talk a little bit about melatonin and whether it's helpful or harmful. Okay. Have you ever used melatonin?
I used it recently.
Okay.
But it didn't help this last time. And it was 3 milligrams.
Ooh, 3 is a lot, actually.
Oh, it didn't help at all. And I think I was just kind of stressed out with work. And I hoped it would help, but it didn't help me that time. But typically it does. So I've used it a few times.
Okay. I've been using sleep gummies that have melatonin in them. And the bottle calls for 2 gummies. And I think each one is 1.5. So actually 1 gummy is probably good enough. Although when I'm like really tired, I'm thinking I need both. But let's talk about melatonin because a lot of people are popping gummies and hoping for miracles. So melatonin is a natural hormone that your body makes.
I had no idea. Okay.
As it gets dark, that signals to your body that it's time to sleep, and it produces melatonin, which helps you sleep. Okay. When you take it as a supplement, though, especially long term, your body can get lazy and stop making enough of its own. Okay. That's what I've read.
Use it sparingly.
Yes. Like don't use it all the time. I don't know that we would call it habit forming because I don't think it's quite that like some of the other sleep aids. But your body, you're using it to kickstart your body's melatonin production.
I see.
So you do want your body to create it on its own. While we talk about this, I've used blue blocking glasses. Have you ever used blue blocking glasses?
I've heard about them, but I've never used them.
So another reason that it might be hard to get to sleep for most of us is screen use. Watching TV, looking at our iPad and our phone, right? All of that. That blue light causes your body not to create melatonin because it doesn't think it's nighttime.
I see.
Your body, when it thinks it's nighttime, starts producing melatonin and starts getting you drowsy and ready for sleep. If you're still looking at screens, then your body doesn't do that. So blue blocking glasses block the blue light, and that way your body can naturally create the sleep hormone.
Are there some? I feel like I've seen some televisions that have that blue tint, and they're very good in the bedroom. But some people feel like you shouldn't have a television in the bedroom at all. But if you're going to have it, then have a blue tint to help you sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I used to be the person that wanted the light on in the closet.
Really?
So I was afraid of the dark. And then, like at some point, I tried out sleeping in the dark because I heard it was good. And yeah, that's better.
I would assume so.
That's better than the light on in the closet. It's better than the TV on. And you have, timers on your television that you can turn off.
True.
So that you can fall asleep with it on and then turn it off, and it won't interrupt your sleep.
Any information about with children and melatonin? I know, like, I would assume if you start early, then maybe would it possibly hurt later on?
I think I've heard that it's not good for babies, but I didn't find any hard facts on that.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I have, I think they have these, what is it? Like lotion, cream, something that has, I think it's melatonin, but it might also be magnesium. I have to now check. But they have that for babies.
Okay.
I have used it, but then I was like, I don't know if this is good, so I stopped using it.
Yeah, you never know these days, right?
Okay, so then that's melatonin.
Okay.
Magnesium is the sleep mineral.
Okay.
If melatonin is overused by people these days, magnesium is underloved. This mineral helps calm the nervous system. It relaxes your muscles, and it helps to regulate your sleep. A lot of us are low in magnesium, and we don't even know it.
Okay.
And that can lead to trouble falling asleep, anxiety, or nighttime restlessness.
Interesting you bring this up because of recent conversation, someone suggested magnesium instead of when I told them that I tried the melatonin, it didn't work. Someone suggested magnesium. I never associated the two. So it's good to hear it here also.
Have you tried it?
No, it was just a couple of days ago.
Remind me when we get together next that I should bring you some of what I use.
Okay.
I use something called Magnesium, like
That's cute.
So it has the type of magnesium that you should use for if you're supplementing magnesium glycinate, and it's got an unobjectionable flavor. I add it to my tea at night.
Okay.
Like you can't really taste it. Like it adds a little bit of sweetness, but it doesn't have sugar. But I'm trying to remember the maker of it. I'm not actually trying to give them an ad, but this is what I use. I have it on subscription. And so at night when I'm getting ready to go to sleep, which by the way, this has an opposite effect, right? If you drink tea before you go to sleep, you got to wake up to pee. Anyway, I still drink tea before I go to sleep, and I put the magnesium in there. And so it's supposed to help. Like I think I take it like 30 minutes before I go to sleep, or
Okay, that's
so
good.
so that the magnesium starts having that relaxing effect. Go ahead.
Are there any foods that we can eat instead of taking a supplement? I know some people are against taking supplements.
Right.
They prefer to get it in their food and their diet.
You can get magnesium from food, leafy greens, almonds, dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Exactly, right? Not milk chocolate, not
right.
Chocolate. Dark chocolate. They all have it.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
So how much sleep do you really need is the question.
That is the question. Because I always feel like I could always take more.
Yeah. Right? I don't know if you've noticed with old people,
they don't sleep very much.
Yeah. They don't, I think it's been studied that you don't need as much when you're older.
Right.
But in your 30s and 40s, you really should get 7 to 9 hours.
So let's see, I'm trying to think. I typically go to sleep at 10 something, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I have a first sleep and a second sleep.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll go back to sleep. So, I need to kind of take an accounting of how much I'm actually sleeping. So
that'll bring us to our next topic.
Yes.
We're going to get there in a second. So in your 30s and 40s, 7 to 9 hours. In your 50s and 60s, 7 to 8 hours. 70s and beyond, still 7 to 8 hours. You should sleep.
So 7, 8 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yes. And more is better. And as we age, we might wake up more often at night and feel less rested. So it's less about quantity and more about quality. Adults, especially women, often sacrifice sleep for productivity.
Okay.
But your body will eventually collect the debt. So you can't keep running on no sleep. Your body will eventually tell you that you need more sleep by getting sick or,
Right.
So
do you think you slept more or less in your 20s, college days, high school than compared to now?
definitely more. I had nothing to worry about.
But grades, right?
Yes, all-nighters. I
Right.
did those then. I've never been a napper. Yeah, it's a problem. I wish I could nap.
Yeah.
But I've never been a napper. So I get my sleep at night. I think I've historically gotten like 8, 9 when I was in my 20s.
I'm definitely a napper. I took one of those like resetting wonderful naps yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And it probably was like 45 minutes or so. And I woke up just rejuvenated. I think naps are one of the best inventions or best gifts from God. I just love a nap.
That's awesome. If I'm napping, I'm not well. I wish I could nap more.
Yeah. My mom is like that. She doesn't nap at all. She just doesn't. But me, and I can tell myself, I'm going to wake up at 3:22, and I'll wake up at 3:22.
It's a gift. It's a gift.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk sleep trackers, right? Because it's quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity.
Yes.
Really?
It is.
3 hours of good sleep is better than 7 hours of not so good sleep.
Yes. So, I mean, it's still better to have 8 hours of sleep,
right?
But at the end of the day, what's better is having more quality sleep.
Perfect.
So 3 hours of quality sleep can be the same as 8 hours of total sleep, with only 3 of those hours being quality.
Okay.
Quality sleep is better. I should have brought this out. Let's see if I talk about it.
Yeah, I've never used a sleep tracker, so tell me more. No, I don't know much about them.
I love tech. You know this. So I've used so many of them. In fact, at this very moment, I have on 2. This is my Apple Watch.
Okay.
Which has a sleep tracker. This is the Whoop, WHOOP.
Okay.
And it is a dedicated sleep tracker. And I might talk about like why I use one over the other.
I think you should, because
why do I have on 2?
Why do you have 2?
Okay, fine. But there's also the Oura Ring, Oura.
Okay.
Oura Ring. There used to be like Fitbits, etc. You could use those for sleep.
I remember that.
So I've used all of them. But you use these to get insight into your sleep stages.
Okay.
Because you have light sleep.
Yes.
You have REM sleep. You have deep sleep.
Yes.
They're all different. And then you have wakefulness and how much you wake up in between all of those. And that's what tells you whether you've had a good night's sleep, is what the distribution of your sleep is. So the Oura Ring is super, I should have brought mine. It's super sleek.
Okay.
And you can wear it on, depending on the size. If you're buying one, they send you a sizer first.
Okay.
And then you put it on and see which finger is best.
Is it different compared to like your ring that you would buy at the jewelry store?
Okay. Yeah. And because you wear your ring, you might not want to use that finger.
Right.
So like I would put mine on my ring finger on my other hand. And it needs to be charged.
Okay.
And it's not charged on your body.
Yeah.
You have to take it off, right? Yeah. And but it keeps the charge for like 4 days plus.
Okay.
So you don't have to do it every day.
Good.
I really enjoyed my Oura Ring. Really enjoyed my Oura Ring.
Enjoyed? With
Yes.
the ED meaning you don't now, or you don't have it?
I don't use it now.
Why?
So the battery.
Okay. I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, the battery, like you have to charge it periodically. And when the battery's dead, you need another one.
Oh.
So at the end of that Oura Ring, they were asking me to buy another one. It wasn't charging and all this, and I had to buy. I was like, no, I'll just buy a different one.
Yeah.
So, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked the Oura Ring. I gained from it. I don't think it was before I was pregnant, so I've always tried to improve my sleep.
Okay.
So the Oura Ring helped me. It gives you suggestions. It has an app, a companion app. Gives you suggestions on what time you should go to sleep. I can't remember if there are rings that you can get that will wake you up. Like it can be an alarm that nobody else can hear because it's on your finger. I can't remember if Oura was one.
That's considerate.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Don't wake up the whole house. Just, it's time to wake up.
It's just my time. What I would think that tracking all of that would give me a little bit of anxiety. Like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Let me try. I think it would be like another thing I need to add to my list of already things that I'm already dealing with and trying to be better in this 2025 and beyond.
I agree. It could be that. And it has been that for me before. But it's another thing that's going to remind you too. Like all of the apps will tell you should go to sleep now.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like you said you wanted Well, okay. So we're going to get to my Whoop, which is what I'm using now.
Yes.
But it does that. Like you tell this Whoop every night what you did the night before.
What do you mean tell it?
So I should just tell you. Okay, so this is the Whoop, WHOOP.
Okay.
It is not like my Apple Watch, right? Like there's no screen on it. It is just for sleep tracking and activity tracking.
Okay.
You can, when you do a workout, it can sense that you worked out. It can sense how heavy the workout, et cetera. And it also needs to be charged, but it can be charged on.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
So it has a battery pack that I just slide over.
Okay.
And then like an hour later, it's charged and I take it off and put it to the side. So I want to open up the app so I can tell everybody kind of what it tells you. So right now I'm at 33% recovery. It's red. I have not slept enough. Last night, let's see. Last night I spent.
Where does the green start?
70.
Assuming there's green. Okay.
70%.
Ooh. There's a big deficit.
Yeah. So this is the level of detail that this thing gives you. So I slept 5 hours and 35 minutes last night. 3 hours of that was restorative sleep, which is up from 2 hours and 45 minutes the night before.
Okay.
I was awake 6% of the night, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It sounds good.
My little one was with my mom.
Okay.
That's why. 45% of that sleep was light. 24% of that sleep was deep. And 25% of that sleep was REM. So my sleep was pretty efficient, 94% efficient. It was just not long enough.
Okay.
So it tells you all of that. Every day I can go in and do a journal. So there are certain things that you do that can help your sleep or hurt your sleep.
Okay.
So this can kind of get you to understand that because you can tell it what you did. Consuming protein is good for you.
Okay.
But eating late is not because your digestive system will start working and then that'll keep you up at night.
Okay.
Dimming the lights after sunset is good for you. Having caffeine, depending on when you have it, can disrupt your sleep. So you know how you have coffee or tea in the morning, you get that dip at lunch, and then you have another one. That last one, if you have it too late, can affect your sleep at night. Drinking enough water can affect you positively. Massages, chiropractor, magnesium can help you. Melatonin depends on how your body reacts to it. A multivitamin. So all the Whoop app, you can put all of it in every night, and then it will start telling you whether those things helped you or hurt you.
That is great.
Yes.
Make me want to get one.
Even sleep. I was about to say it wrong. Even nights when I have someone else in the bed with me versus nights when I don't have someone else in the bed, it can tell you whether that's good or not.
Okay.
Nursing, whether that's good or not. Hot shower. A hot shower before bed is like chef's kiss for a good night's sleep or setting yourself up for a good night's sleep. So you put all that in there.
And intercourse too. Great intercourse.
Yes.
It helps with sleeping.
I don't know if that one is in there.
It should be because I don't even need that app to tell me the difference.
Yes. It is good for you. Whether we have evidence or receipts, there you go.
I'm gonna say it is.
Yeah. We don't need evidence.
That's the best tip, I think.
So, since we talked about all that, and I'm not even sure if everybody's following me on all these different apps, I'm going to talk about the Apple Watch. Apple Watch does all of that too. And the Apple Watch and watches like it that connect to your phone were revolutionary for women, in my opinion. Okay. Because our phone, it's very hard to keep our phone on our person like men do, right? Especially if you have a purse and you don't have any pockets. But the Apple Watch and others like it put those notifications on your phone. I can answer the phone from my wrist. I can see my messages. But it also has all those health benefits by tracking different things. The reason I don't use the Apple Watch for sleep tracking, it needs to be charged every day.
I see.
Every day. I can't even go from morning till night with this thing still being alive. Like by night, it's probably dead. I need to charge it. So, and I just can't keep up with having another thing I need to charge.
Makes sense. So, sleep, something we all need.
Yes.
It's not an option. And good sleep is something we really all need, right? To just be our best selves.
So here's a cheat sheet for a good night's sleep. No caffeine after 2 or 3 p.m.
Okay.
Avoid working out late at night. When do you work out?
In the mornings, typically, or at lunchtime.
Okay. Late at night, and some people swear by working out late at night, and everybody's body is different. But working out drives up your cortisol, which is a different hormone, and I think it can be like counter to melatonin.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Dim your lights after 8 p.m. if you can. Use blue light blocking glasses, especially if you're going to still be watching something on TV or looking at your phone, looking at TikTok, etc. Right. Add magnesium to your nightly routine. And, you can actually take magnesium doesn't make you sleepy.
It does not.
No.
Okay.
It can make it easier to sleep. And it's a relaxing hormone. I mean, not hormone, but a relaxing substance.
Okay.
But you can take magnesium in the daytime just so that you're not deficient in it.
Interesting. Okay.
Create a bedtime routine. Journal, pray, stretch, skincare. Exactly. Keep your bedroom cool and, like you said, screen free.
Keeping it cool is very important. So, what is the temperature you like to sleep in?
I'm not.
You're not one of those.
An evidence of keeping the bedroom cool. I have two covers on.
I like the covers, but I also like to be under 70 degrees.
70, okay.
Under 70, so 68, 69, and a cover. Yeah.
Too much information about my little one, but I was always keeping the house at 70.
Okay.
And she has eczema. We went to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician was like, no. You need to have it at 68, 69. And stop putting the covers on her. Take these covers. Take her socks off. You're overheating her.
Interesting.
And she be kicking off her own covers. So she was right.
Yeah.
And last tip, go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on weekends. That is a tip for better sleep because your body gets accustomed to that.
Okay. I'll have to try it out. I think on the weekends I enjoy
sleeping in.
Yeah. So.
But at least go to sleep at the same time.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Also difficult, right? If you have a life, but
if you have a life, yeah. Which you should have a life, right?
Right. So bottom line, sleep isn't optional. It's the foundation of health, healing, and just functioning as a human. I'd love to know from our watchers, our listeners, what are your best or worst sleep hacks? We might shout you out on the next episode.
Yeah. And speaking of sleep hack, I was listening to my Apple Music, and they have a section called Sleep Therapy. And they had one group of, genre of fan noise, like the fan that you have to keep your house cool. And I tried that, and it helped. And I never thought about that. But, just check out Sleep Therapy if you have a subscription. It's a lot of different options on there.
You know what? Now that you brought that up, I use another app called Calm.
Yes.
And they have sleep stories. Idris Elba.
I think you can put a lot of people
Matthew,
to sleep.
yes. Matthew McConaughey. So that's another thing. But white noise or different noises work
Brown
for different
noise,
people.
Pink noise. I've heard different types of noises. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that was very informative.
We try.
Now what we're digging. So today, I like to share what I'm currently digging, and let's talk about something that's close to my heart, books. Typically audiobooks, but I love books. Even as a little girl, I was the book reading champion for my elementary school 3 years in a row. Woo! So I've always been into books, book nerd. So specifically, I want to talk about Dream Count, the newest novel from Chimamanda Adichie. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a big Chimamanda fan. I've read everything she's written, from essays, speeches, fiction, you name it. And I also have a signed copy. I think we both do, right? Didn't we go to... No, that wasn't you. It was someone else. We went... I did go to one of her tours here in Houston, and got one of my books signed. And I think it may have been Americana. I'm not sure, but... it's one of my favorite things, and it's in my office. So if I have a meeting, you'll see it in the background. So, but seriously, Chimamanda is one of the most brilliant voices of our time. Born in Nigeria, she writes stories that speak to the African experience, the immigrant journey, and feminism, and just plain life in general. One of her first books, the one that I read first, was Purple Hibiscus. I remember reading that in college or right after college. Half of a Yellow Sun, and I believe that Netflix made a movie into that one, Americana, and she was also featured in Beyonce's song "Flawless."
Flawless.
Yes, one of her TED Talks. So I'm really enjoying the book. It's Dream Count is her first novel in 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I hadn't even realized that.
Oh, I had. 10 years. I've been waiting.
And I have a subscription to Audible, and I think I pre-purchased it back last year, not realizing it wasn't coming out until I think maybe it came out in March.
They caught you.
Yes,
you
and
can't
then
cancel.
Someone said, "Oh, it came out, a couple days." I was like, "Really?" And it was already on my phone, so I had already downloaded. So it's been well worth the wait. I'm not finished it yet. I have a few more chapters to go, but I do audiobooks. And so the first part of the audiobook is her reading it.
Oh.
So it's good to hear her voice. And I was listening to Trevor Noah's podcast, and she was on there.
Oh, nice.
And like Trevor, I thought the first part was her reading about herself, but it's a different character. I just thought that, it sounded like it could be very similar to her. So the book follows 4 Nigerian women living in the U.S. during the start of the pandemic. They're all on their own corners of isolation, trying to keep together while facing themselves, memories, regrets, disappointments, secrets, and everything they thought they left behind. And what I love about the book is the real character feels, and there's some aspect of each character I can see myself in. And it's like what everyone is going through, because we're all going through something, and how we each individually carry it. And their friendships, it's messy, it's complicated, and it's full of history and tenderness. And, one moment you're laughing, and the next moment you're like, wow, is this really happening? And then do you remember that story of the, I think she was a Francophone African woman in New York. She was a house cleaner, a cleaner for the rooms in the hotel. And some powerful man sexually assaulted her. I don't know if you remember that story. And there is a story that's inspired by this situation. So it's bringing in some real life things that I remember from some time ago. So yeah, it's good. So I would really recommend Dream Count. If you haven't gotten it yet, go ahead and get it. You won't be disappointed, especially if you like
Chimamanda.
Yes,
I will have to add it to my cart now because I love her and I've been waiting for another book. I will say that one of the prior books, I read it on Audible and the narration was horrible.
That's so important. I'm glad you brought that up because I will return a book if the narration is horrible. And I'm like that and most recently of the books that I read of African, Nigerian authors, they've had better narrators recently. But yeah, what I typically do, excuse me, is I'll look to see who the narrator is. And if the name seems to be an African name or a Nigerian name, I will get it. Okay. If not, then I won't even purchase it.
And return it if it's bad.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's 4 different readers. And some are better than others, but it's still good. Still well done. So I'm glad she did that.
I still listen to it even though I hated the narration because I'm not reading a physical book in 2025. But I'm glad to hear that. And I'm glad to hear that some of it is her, right? You said some of it is her.
Yeah, some of it is her. One particular character is her.
Nice.
Right. So she's at the beginning. I'm not sure if she comes back, if that character comes back. I'm assuming so, but yeah. Okay. So I'm recommending this book with my full chest. This book is one you'll finish and, it'll be good. And it's just life. I've been very, busy with work, but I can't wait to get back to it. So it's awesome. One I really recommend. It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Awesome. The other thing I was going to mention is I think I've heard some short stories that are from the pandemic time. But this will be my first book that's trying to that's set in the pandemic. Yeah. So that'll be cool to read.
It's a good one.
Awesome.
You've been listening to the Shine Your Eye podcast, where the gist never ends. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen or watch us. and join the family. We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, feedback, and ideas for future episodes by emailing us at shineyoureyepod@gmail.com or connecting with us on social media at shineyoureyepod.
Till next time, shine your eye, stay sharp, and keep the gist flowing. See you soon on another episode.